Lights are low on this stage, there's a feeling here tonight. Guitar in hand, it's me and the band about to make this place come alive. Hands in the air, we're all right here, bass kicking it with the drums. Step on in, where y'all been, we're about to have some fun. Crowd screaming, come on, let's go. So I say let's get on with the show. Play it loud, stomp it down, get a little rowdy with the crowd. This one goes out to the girl in the front row. N-I-C-O-do-si-do. Bang your head, sing this song, baby in the back with my t-shirt on. This one goes out to you. Can you holler if y'all came to party? Shout it out, 'cause you're here in my house. Yeah, make yourself at home here in my house.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by SaskTel, Viterra, White Ice at Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, CurlSask, SaskTel Max TV, and Asham Curling Supplies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Humboldt, home of the 2019 Viterra Scotties Provincial Curling Championship. We're down to 3 teams. One more was eliminated this afternoon in the Page 3-4 game. We've got the Page 1-2 game tonight. My name is Sean Joyce. I'm here with Kim Hudson and the voice of Susan Lang for the first time this week. The Page 1-2 game faces off Robin Silvernagle against Sherry Anderson. This is actually a rematch of last year's final. The skips, at least. The teams are a little bit different. Robin Silvernagle needed a big win in her final round robin game to secure the first overall seed. She actually had to steal that win against Kristen Streifel. Sherry Anderson needed a win in her game as well to get the 6-2 record that gave her second place. And Susan, I'm going to turn to you first. Kim had a chance to talk to a few of these teams during the games and fifth end and post-game interviews, and Sherry Anderson at one point in time, very late in the week, had said where they were sitting, they didn't think they still had a shot at number 1. But they knew they had a shot at number 2, and they were talking about how big that was to get number 2 over number 3. Are they happy where they're sitting right now?
I would say that they have to be thrilled. They've played very well to get to this spot, but it was such a tight race all week long in the round robin that you didn't know where you were going to end up. To be so close to the provincial final is really, really exciting. What I'm anxious to watch and see is how Sherry's team handles this. We know Sherry has a lot of pressure in big games like this, but this is a brand new experience for her 3 teammates. I'm anxious to see and interested how they handle the extra intensity and the adrenaline, and how Sherry manages the team and keeps them playing at that steady level that they've shown all week long.
And Kim, again, talking about some of those post-game interviews, right after the round robin final last night, you were talking to Robin, asked her to look ahead, and she had to admit that she didn't even know where they were, didn't realize they had first place. Is it key for them to continue not to look too far ahead?
Yeah, well, they've been very focused all week, and you're exactly right. She didn't even know where they were in the standings. They were focusing on the game at hand, and they have been one of the most consistent teams here this week. They're coming off a big win as well, so they're going to be ready to play in this game, I think.
Well, the 2 teams get practice before the game and just about set to get underway. So let's meet the teams in tonight's Page 1-2 playoff game.
Hi, I'm Robin Silvernagle, skip of Team Silvernagle. Our third is Stephanie Lawton, second, Jesse Hunkin, lead, Cara Teveno, and coach Leslie McEwen, and we curl out of the Twin Rivers Curling Club in North Battleford.
Hi, I'm Sherry Anderson, skip of Team Anderson. At third is Nancy Martin, second is Megan Frericks, lead is Allie Jenkins, and our coach is Cheryl Beckler, and we curl out of the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon.
And just to let everybody know how these teams got here, Robin Silvernagle in her final round robin game last night needed to steal the win against Kristen Streifel. The Streifel team unable to get by the guard with the last stone. A big win for the Silvernagle team, and actually back-to-back comebacks yesterday in their last 2 games of the round robin, and you could see in that team just how excited they were to get into this page 1-2 game, maybe breathing a bit of a sigh of relief as well when they had to steal those wins.
Yeah, they certainly had some big come-from-behind wins yesterday.
That left the round robin final standings, as you see it there, Robin Silvernagle on top with a record of 7-1, with Sherry Anderson finishing second at 6-2. But as for the Silvernagle team, that 1 game in the loss column, we haven't mentioned this yet, that came to Sherry Anderson.
Yeah, it did. I believe that was pretty early on.
And it is a rematch of last year's final, but a lot of the players here are different. There's only 3 players on the ice that were on the ice for that final last year. Cara Teveno, one of those players.
Yeah, and then the 2 skips. Yeah, teams here. All the teams here, actually. No teams back with the same lineup. Everybody's shuffling around a little bit. These 2 teams included.
So when you're looking at a rematch of a final from a year ago, when most of the players have changed, is there really no psychological edge there? But it is still the same 2 skips.
Yeah, I suppose. It's only, yeah.
You're so definitive.
Well, you know what? When it's a different team, it's a different team. Yeah, the skips are the same, but I'd actually say no psychological edge. The only psychological thing that might, I don't even know if I want to say it out loud, play into effect is Robin has lost 2 provincial finals.
She has.
So this is her 3rd go. And you certainly don't want to bring that up. You certainly want to park it, sort of forget it never happened, but you don't want to let that start playing with you.
Well, and on the other side of that, and we have talked about it before, when they did go out and put this team together this year, they picked up Stephanie Lawton to play 3rd. And Stephanie Lawton has been through that situation where she's lost provincial finals, actually lost 3 in a row at one point in time, and then came back and won 2 in a row after that. She got over that hurdle, and it's possible that they're leaning on her expertise and her experience in getting over that mental hurdle to maybe help this team do the same thing.
Absolutely, 100% they are. Stephanie's been a great asset to this team, not just for strategy and throwing, but mentally as well. And I'm sure that's where they've had, relied on their coaches, and I'm sure they've done some work with some mental prep as well.
We were also talking earlier in the week, watching one of their games, and it struck me that Stephanie and Robin both very disciplined in the game plan and very similar that way, and it looks like this has been a good match. They've certainly had a great season on the Cashbill circuit.
Yep, not much more to say other than I agree.
Huh?
So the Anderson team deciding to throw it in the rings. Looks like they're going to try to play this first end a little open.
So we've talked a bit about the Silvernagle team. Now let's turn the tables and talk about Sherry Anderson. Brand new team for her, but to some extent, this is a woman that the past couple of years she's played seniors and women's with 2 different teams. It almost doesn't seem to matter. You just put 3 players in front of her, and she's going to find a way to win.
Absolutely. Period.
Well,
not much more to say.
I was going to say, excuse me, there's no doubt that Sherry's skill is in managing the team that she has in front of her. She's so good at reading the ice, picking up tendencies, playing to your team's strength. topped with a reasonably defensive game plan also. She keeps any team that she has in front of her in a game, in a competition, and it shows here. That's why they're in this 1-2 game.
4. Sit. Whoa, Kara. Good. Good, nice, Jess.
So roll to the outside.
So here we have both thirds who were skipping and are now switching into new positions, and it's been an adjustment for Nancy curling third, but she's made a really nice, I think she's learned a lot playing with Sherry on the skipping aspect, and then with all the mixed doubles that Nancy's done, her shot making has really improved over the last 3 or 4 years, so it's been nice seeing the development of her game, and this is another step this year curling with Sherry.
And it's not just us that would say that. I've talked to Nancy in the past, and she certainly has felt that playing the doubles has made her a better player. I'm going to touch on something you just said, Susan, with the skips playing third here. Actually, when you think about it, the final 4 teams, the top 4 seeds, the top 4 teams in the province, according to the CTRS rankings all season, all 4 of those teams with former skips playing third. How key is that in today's game to have that kind of experience at the third stones?
Good, nice.
You know, it's as much for the shot making, but I think when it comes in, you've got a really good collaboration with somebody that understands what it's like to be throwing that 7th and 8th rock. So when you've got that kind of person that you can sort of not empathize, but can understand and relate to what you're going through, and you can bounce off the calls and the strategy, and you've just got that really good understanding of the moment of the game. I think it really helps that you're not alone out there as the only skip, so to speak.
Okay, same weight. Yeah.
Well, for those of you who are with us for the page 3-4 game on CurlSask.ca this afternoon, you know that Kristen Streifel was a little tight for time at the end of the game. And with this open end here to start, both teams, neither has used a minute off their clocks yet.
Yeah, banking a little time.
Easy, just a clean.
In fact, as you say that, Sherry's already down at the other end. Not really anything to talk about here.
I can say clean. Nice, good sweeping. Good sweeping.
But it's been amazing watching the on-ice coaching that Stephanie Lawton has brought to Robin. I mean, she's always been a great shot maker, but same thing too, she's just brought in a very seasoned, calmer approach to sort of calm down Silvernagle's shot making, because she's been so aggressive in how she loves to call the game that I think Stephanie's brought that back just a notch, and it's really helped Robin, I think, in winning a lot more games this year and doing so well out on the Bonspiel circuit. It's added another level of consistency, because Steph Lawton has always been an extraordinarily consistent curler, and that's always what you're looking for in any sport and activity is consistency.
Yeah. Whose nose, eh? Yeah, nose is great. There you go, Rob. Good to straight up. 8.
You do see, based on the round robin, that Silvernagle does have hammer in this game. And as far as choice of rocks go, both teams chose the rock colors right off of sheet B.
Easy, clean. Easy, clean. Whoa. Clean.
Little soft.
Clean.
Little
Yep.
soft.
Clean. Yep.
Whoa.
Clean.
Good.
That's good. Good shot. Okay, hey, then 6.
Yeah, it was good.
Continuing to be just the one stone in the rings, Sherry Anderson already in the hacks again. She'll try to hit and stay and force Robin Silvernagle to make the rollout for her blank.
One more way. 9-5.
Whoa.
Clean all the way. We got a piece.
Whoa, off.
9-5. No,
Off,
clean.
off. No, off.
Clean.
Off. Hey. Good.
It's good. A little bit more clean. 8.5.
Rolls that back to almost the same spot it was in for Robin's first stone, so you look there at the broom she's putting down, and she needs to roll out. This is going to run extremely straight.
Straight up. You got it.
8.
Robin Silvernagle with the blank attempt here in the first end.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Clean.
Clean is good.
Yep.
Clean is good. Clean is good.
There's that calming voice of Stephanie Lawton in the house. Makes the hit and roll out. We've got a blank in the first. Robin Silvernagle will keep last rock into the second.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel. The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel.
Well, a blank end in the first, and number 2 underway here. The Anderson team looking for a stone into the rings. Just to let everybody know how these teams got here and where they're going to end up. The Page 3-4 game this afternoon, it was Krista Streifel against Amber Hall, and the Streifel team came out with the win. They will be in the the semifinal tomorrow at 12 o'clock. The loser of this Page 1-2 game drops into that semifinal as well. The winner moves directly to the final at 5 o'clock. We'll have both of those games for you here on SaskTel Max.
Yes, it certainly does make a difference. You know, when we watched the 3-4 game this afternoon, you know, that was an elimination game. You win or you go home. And here, and as much as you do want to be in that final tomorrow, at least you know you still got that second chance to still be alive and have a good day on Sunday and win the province. So there's still a lot of stress and anxiety out here, but it's not quite as severe as the elimination game.
For sure, that's a good point. Both of these teams know they're playing tomorrow.
We're tight. It's real tight. Yeah, tight's great. Oh, there it goes. Really nice.
Well,
Nice
they called
shot.
for the first one in after the rollout. They play the center guard. Cara Tevino now being asked to come around.
Line close.
I don't want to jinx anything here, but Kara's had a fabulous week. I've been able to watch all the games out here, and she's been rock steady in her rock placement. And this Silvernagle team has had to jump on most ends on their opposition in a lot of games that they've played.
Easy.
So of course I say that, she goes back, but
Line. 14-5. Okay. Top button's good. That's not horrible. Okay.
So looking at following them down.
Talking about players who have played great all week, Megan Frericks. Very solid all week long.
Room right now.
Showing her draw weight here, but she's such a good hitter.
Hard. Hard.
well, same thing too, that we're consistent. You know, she doesn't have that huge super weight big hit that, you know, somebody like a Jolene McIver or Jolene Campbell might have on her shots. But if you hit that rock in the right spot all the time, then you're going to get those results. And Megan has been right on with most of her shots this week.
Roll it there. Can you roll in? Yeah.
And again, Sherry sets her team up to play the shots that they can make the most. And Sherry hasn't got into a really complicated game this weekend. She's kept it quite open and simple and has set people up for high rates of success.
Whoa.
Weights.
Whereas Robin Silvernagle, most of her games, there have been rocks in play all over the place right from the start of the first and on. So this is a real contrast of two different ways to play the same game.
Good. That's good. Yeah, 11-9. Good, huh? 11-9.
Jesse Hunkin with the hit. They were looking to roll in. Gets a little bit of a roll to the inside, but not enough to bite the 12-foot.
Same on this, or you want a little more?
Does force the Anderson team to play the come around from the other side.
Room. Gotta go. Close. 5. Room. Gotta go for weight. Go, man. 5, 6.
No, we're good. Weight's good.
6. Coming now.
Coming down now.
Yep. Bury it up. Nancy. 7. Nancy. It's a 7.
We're 7 already.
Oh, bury it. Cut a girl. Okay.
Nice shot by Megan.
Must have sped up there pretty quickly because I think they thought she was going to be a little short on that draw, and it went right to the tee line.
That's fine. Yeah, I like that.
Might be able to punch our room too, actually.
It's close, yeah. It's a bit high.
Robin lining up the run back. They're going to try to get both of these yellows out of play.
So Jesse from Alberta is that one out-of-province person that's now allowed on everybody's team. She's had a fabulous career in Alberta as a young junior, and then I'm positive she was playing with the Shy Diggers when she got out of juniors.
Yep, make sure. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Well, not exactly the way they drew it up, but actually works out very well for them as they move that one red stone a little bit off the center line. And there you hear from Sherry, it's biting the rings.
Freezing on that, Nance. Yeah. Right to it or just top 4?
Right to it.
Okay.
Welded on.
Is it back? Back 8?
Back 8, yeah. Nice hair. 15-4.
If you knew you could make it that way, that's probably how Robin Silvernagle would have called it. It's nice to get that. It wasn't quite overlapped, but they were edge to edge. It's nice to get that second center guard out of the way.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Running. Got lots of room.
7, 8.
Megan's rock.
8.
Yeah.
Gotta go for weight.
Gotta go. Right to it.
6.
Gotta go to it. All the way. Never off. All the way. Stay on it, Allie. Right to it. This one. This one.
Very nice.
Gotta go. Good shot.
Comes down just a little tap and stays in front of that red stone.
Saying the nose is pretty good.
Really good job.
This.
Good job.
Coming, you can freeze tap too. Try to get a better angle. I like that.
Yeah, I
Just
think
tap
I do
it.
too.
Yeah. Like back 8.
Okay. So it's nice here now.
Yeah.
So we want about a 14 and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. For back ring, yeah. You got it.
So it's pretty quick ice when they're talking hog to hog, 14.5 seconds to go to the back 8 foot like that. No.
Yeah, we've seen that all week. They've been talking 15 and a half actually most times for T-line.
Yeah, once you get into that 15, I start referring to that as tippy toe ice. You're just barely pushing out of the hack.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference
Yep.
in draw weight
Roll it, Jess, roll
when
it.
you're talking 15 and a half and higher. Bounced off. Leaving yellow shot rock, as Sherry indicated.
Kind of like the other way, Nancy. Top 4.
Are we?
Certainly because of the wall back there,
We're second. We're third.
exposing
they're
anything
fourth.
on the
I
high
mean,
side
have
here,
all
and
the
they won't
red,
be able
but
to get it
yeah,
by all those rocks over there.
No.
That's why Sherry's
Either
looking at
this
coming
way
around
or
with the
this way,
intern.
Whichever way you want to
I like
go.
the same way, Sheriff. We can or no?
Yeah.
Or you want to be 3/4 under on the other side?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I can see Sherry being a little bit worried about the fact that there might be doubles already on those yellows, and you hate to leave another one over there.
Yeah.
Well, and if Nancy only comes partially around this way, rocks are going to jam into that back nestling of rocks there, and any shooter would roll out to the open and not under that red rock up in the top 12 foot. So I think this is a smart way to come in on this shot.
You've got to get by that tight red guard, though. This is curling earlier than they expected.
Yeah, she's a little light, which
Yes.
has caused that.
Comes up short, sits just in front of that now.
Okay.
What does that leave for Robin Silvernagle? Looking at the come around.
15 is going to be good. Okay.
Yeah, a touch less.
Well, yeah, not my same weight, but
Yeah.
it's the same speed.
Yeah.
Same speed. Okay.
Let's go.
You got it,
Up
Steph. Okay. Let's go, guys.
It's so nice having the mics on all of the players because it's just so important to be constantly talking about the ice conditions and what you're doing and what you're planning on throwing and what the sweepers think it's going to be. And you know, when you're working with people as they're developing their game, that's always a big aspect to try to grasp onto, is watching this ice and the speed.
Right now.
Whoa.
Running right now.
Trying.
Looks hot.
Or just back.
T-line.
No, T-line.
That's
Got it.
just catching.
Top four. Go, Kara, go. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Boy, that came down hard.
It
Yeah.
looked like it caught a little bit of new ice there, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Not shot rock, but it's not in a bad spot. It's taken away that side from Sherry Anderson. Again, she has to be very careful not to leave a double playing on this side. Needs to bury it.
Oh, we're yellow.
Sorry. You think we were red? Yeah. This side is 15-4. Quicker, you think? 15-4. Yeah. The top four.
So there you hear it, and it's something we've talked about all week. This ice is changing a little and quite tracky, so you have to be aware where you're throwing. They did say, you know, 15-4 on this side, but 14-9 on the other right now.
And that's that 3 feet of difference or so that that you're looking for or have to adjust for.
Little early. Hard. Hard line.
On this right out of her hand, both Sherry and Nancy calling for line. Holding on the outside of that 4-foot line so far. You know when it gets inside of it, it's going to curl.
It's really got to curl, guys. We killed it. Freeze it then. Freeze it.
Go, 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 go. Okay.
Well, Sherry thought she was tight at the start, so they counted it to hold the line, and then it didn't get quite the curl.
I don't think it was just Sherry. I think I heard both of them call it on.
they
And
did.
They surprised themselves.
well, we know that 4-foot line has been treacherous all week, and the Brushers were able to hold it on the outside of that line, but in so doing, bring it a little deep. Buried enough that Robin doesn't have a chance to play the double here.
On top of us, so like top four if we're buried. Top four would be good. But we'll try to communicate with line here. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go, Rob.
Line. Okay. Line's good.
They want to be on top of the tee
We
line.
have room right now.
Shot and buried.
Okay, stay close.
No, needs to curl
Just
a
do
lot.
it. I want to broom down if you can at least. Back four.
No,
Just
no, no.
easy.
Little tap.
Easy.
Little tap.
Trying. It's trying.
No,
Just freeze
no,
to it. Whoa, whoa.
no.
Got to curl a bit, Jess.
Whoa.
Okay, good, Rob. That's good.
I think that's really good. I think if you're
It's
coming
true.
down to it, you'd like to keep that little bit of angle.
Not bad.
Room for one rower. Sherry gets to follow it down, sit right on the button. If she can make the perfect phrase, it's going to make it difficult.
Protect the shot I'm throwing because if I set it out, she
Well, that's what I'm
smashes.
thinking.
Exactly.
Exactly.
She has to be careful where she sets it, though.
I don't know if it matters where she sets it. There's going to be the angle raised there, the one that Nancy just pointed at, the one in the 8-foot.
On the other side.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't want
She's smashing it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I
if we
think
get-
right on the face of it to the inside. eh?
Yep. Agreed.
I think the ice is fine
Yep.
if we let it work in there.
Yep. Same weight.
Similar
And
weight.
you
Yeah.
can see the two rocks, the one in the 8-foot, as well as the one just on the Scotties logo. She's going to have smashes from both sides, so if you're a little off center one way or the other, she's going to have a rock that she could run in, and it could be for a pile.
Yeah, we want to get kind of to the inside if we can.
Let us know the line.
No bounce off it though. That's death.
Okay.
last time.
Queen. About a 7, 8. 8. Right now. Queen, Allie.
8. Right now. We're bumping.
Bumping right now. Yes.
No.
Bumping. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wait, only it's got to curl, guys.
Bumping.
It has to curl.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
I think we can do that now. Though.
Yeah.
Have like
More positive.
2/3.
Okay. The bait of the red. What kind of weight? Is the 10?
So we want to play
Yes,
it
to
to just
a ton of weight
stick
at
it
this.
there,
Yeah,
right?
I mean to touch that would be lovely, but
I know,
you'd
I'm
have
just-
to throw some weight at
You'd
that,
have
and
to,
you're gonna roll.
and you're gonna hit up
probably
here,
almost
right?
3/4 actually.
Okay.
So I think not it.
Karen wants to come around the open, or around to get to the face of it. I don't know that that's actually there. Just going to play the short raise
Straight up here.
on the angle that, you know, Sherry Anderson, as much as she wasn't happy to tap it, she may be fortunate that she did, because if she leaves those stones closer together, if the yellow clips the red, it drives it onto those two yellows behind and kills them both. And
Right
I
now,
don't think it's going to
the
catch them
most-
both. And I think either Robin or Stephanie said the same thing. It's probably going to go over the top.
I agree. So I think this is for 2.
2 if she can absolutely stick it.
Yeah.
Which is not easy. This is a sharp angle.
Called it early. Running on that 4-foot line.
By the front ones, catches it. Does make contact on the stone in the rings. Now, where will it end up? Hangs on to the back of the 4-foot. She gets her deuce here in end number 2. Stephanie Lawton, great call on the sweep. And it'll be Sherry Anderson with last rock as we come back.
Dream big in full color with Apple and SaskTel on Saskatchewan's favorite networks. White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Well, a big shot for Robin Silvernagle to pick up her deuce in end number 2. She jumps out to an early 2-0 lead. Sherry Anderson will have last rock here, and we were talking during the break, Kim, Susan, that boy, the way they screamed right out of her hand, I wasn't sure she was getting by the guard. Not that the guard was really in play for what she was throwing. It was, she had to hit this very thin.
Yeah, the guard wasn't in place. She did have to hit it thin, and kudos there to Steph. Great line call on that, and I mean, both of them, they hit what they needed to hit, and they needed to call that early, so good team effort.
Okay.
Third end underway here. There is the guard, and we've been joined by Mitch Minkin, president of CurlSask, and as many of our viewers fondly know him, Radio Mitch.
Good evening.
Mitch, you've been kind of a jack of all trades here this week. I've seen you out with the ice crew. I've seen you all over the building.
Well, it's one of the things I like to do when I come out. I get bored otherwise. So the ice crew is one of my side passions. I've had the opportunity at Women's Worlds and the Brier and the Canada Cup to be on the ice crew. So I really enjoy that.
You enjoy that, and do you enjoy being bossed around by Sean as far as the radios and all those things go?
Well, it's a little less of that.
He misses that opportunity.
Line's good.
Mitch, we had a chance to talk to Kevin this afternoon, the chair of the local committee. This whole event came together in shorter time frame than what it usually does. The contract wasn't awarded until August. Talk to us about the CurlSask from your perspective with CurlSask, how it was working with this local organizing committee when you had to turn things around so quickly.
Well, it's come together really well. The Humboldt community here has done many events before, so they were able to leverage all the knowledge and the volunteers they had in place from those to make it work out really good for us.
And you have to be excited if you're CurlSask about the level of competition that we've had here this week, the caliber of these teams, and not just the teams, but the crowds. The crowds are encouraging for the sport as a whole.
Absolutely. Right from Tuesday afternoon, the crowds have been fantastic, coming out on the ice and watching, and the field has been absolutely fantastic.
Corrals, peel those. I like coming around. Okay, bite the forefoot. Okay, this way should be good.
Yep, speed's good. I was just
Yeah.
Let's go. Straight up. That's good. Yeah, you bet.
Those staggered guards at the top, giving Robin Silvernagle a chance to come underneath again. Robin asking Jesse Hunkin to make the come around.
Easy. All you. Easy line. See you line. Room.
Gotta go, guys.
Room.
We gotta go.
All you have to. Leg okay.
Gotta go.
Camera. Line good. Hard.
Just fully.
Hard. Hard as you can. Cut the corner. Hard. 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 Hard.
Go, go, go,
One
go,
more.
go. Okay.
15. Not quite up to speed yet, hey?
No.
Nice weight. I think as the curlers just said, it's not quite up to the speed they've been used to yet. I'm sure it's going to get there very shortly. One or two more rocks, but
15.
That kind of looks like max height.
Yeah.
Just a little further out there.
Mitch, I know, as we talked about, that this was rather late coming together for Humboldt. It was nice that they had a committee here that has done this in the past, even if it's been a few years. What can you tell us, if anything, about what's coming up for the Scotties?
Well, we're working on a contract right now with an arena in Saskatoon, and we're in the light stages of putting that together. So I'm anticipating that it's just a matter of getting the ink on paper and getting it put together.
Leave those there.
That'll be exciting for the players to get back into an arena setting. They do talk about that.
Like you can do this.
And it's tough in today's economy to get arenas that we can get for a week for
If you get that,
a rate that's acceptable to the host committees, isn't it?
Absolutely. It puts a little more expense to it.
They're not frozen, they're
Usually we can
apart,
recover it by getting the fans out
like that. I don't like these. They're really hurting
all of
us.
that.
Yep.
But
half are off.
we're really looking forward to getting back into that setting and that ice condition.
Even a quarter, you'll be fine.
I have to say, though, this Humboldt facility is great when it comes to viewing. I mean, we've got bleachers on both sides, tons of room, and great viewing behind the glass upstairs and down as well. This is a great curling facility.
Go.
Yes, it's one of the facilities that's been built for viewing. Great theater seating in the lower lobby and good rail and balcony in the upper area.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt that they've got, as you said, the room to bring the bleachers out here for the fans that want to come out and watch live in the air, hear the curlers. Close enough to, well, if you listen to the women, they'll tell you they never sweat. I was going to say close enough to get sprayed with the sweat.
Yeah, and you know what? That even adds to the atmosphere for sure. I mean, you've got the crowd out here, and you've got the cheering and the yelling and the cowbells, and that's fantastic. The curlers love to be a part of that.
And as always, we're trying to prepare them for the national experience when they will be in our arena with large crowds.
Okay, we're top 4.
Sit. Good shot, Meg. Think you're gonna just run into it.
Okay. Can we get the double?
It's going to be a busy couple of weeks for you, Mitch. You're here for the Scotties this week. You're at senior playdowns next week. Are you going to Whitewood as well?
Yes, I'll be at the men's provincial as well. So it's been a very busy January. Started with juniors over the Christmas break and right through New Year's Eve. They were kind enough to put a tiebreaker on so I could spend New Year's Eve in the Sutherland Curling Club.
But where else would you want to be?
Exactly.
Whoa, no. Never, never, never. Never. No. No. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Stephanie Lawton looking for the double, just gets the nose hit, sits right there.
Either have to roll there, or I like there. I think just bump though.
Either have to roll there or roll there.
Bump. Yep.
Nancy Martin now,
Yep. Hard. Hard.
just looking to keep these rocks separated.
Whoa. Hard. Whoa. We're not. No.
This is
we're not
plan
there.
B.
No.
Nancy's not going to roll.
All right.
Sherry calls them off to try to keep the double difficult. Awful close together, but it is thin if you're going to stay right there. She hits the first one thick, she'll spin over the top a little bit.
11. Okay. Yeah. Should run nice and straight here. Straight up. Yep.
Mitch, whenever we get these chances to talk during these events, of course, we've always got these same similar questions what we've already asked you about what's going on with this event, what's going on with it in the future. And I always feel bad if I don't give you the chance to maybe say, is there anything from your perspective, from CurlSask's perspective, that you want to say to the public about the game itself and where we're going?
Well, I
put you on the spot, didn't I?
No, that's fine. I think we're in great shape. Spending the time at the juniors just always impresses me to see the level of talent that's coming up and the parity that's coming in these fields. And I think we're seeing the same thing happen in the women's field here. We've got more teams playing, and the quality of the field is just continuing to get better.
We'll roll out, but yeah, that's fine. Just off nose. Just off nose.
So with that nose hit, gives the Silvernagle team a chance at a double. Chances are they're going to roll out, giving Sherry a
Let's go.
chance to split the rings, I guess. But
9.5.
the difference now, she had the chance to play the double earlier and could have gotten underneath cover. The double she's going to have to play now, she's going to have to roll to the outside. Even if she stays, I don't think she'd be shot rock.
9. Close. 9. Whoa. Got a curl bit. Whoa, it's falling. Whoa. Never.
Looking to make the double. This is going to be a little thin on the first one and just jams it. So Sherry Anderson continues to sit 2. We'll have a chance to draw for 3, and now it's a question of where do you put this rock so you don't leave a double.
Right.
I don't think she's going to draw. She's too up. I kind of like just wide open here. Either back there or back here. Yeah, I don't mind that. Let's go here. Right, make her try the hit.
Mitch, you were mentioning being at the provincial juniors. Of course, our provincial junior champions at the nationals right now, playing in Prince Albert. Doing very well.
Yeah, we got our men's team into semi-final tonight. Just getting started there. Looks like in the second end they're 1 down to Manitoba, but hopefully Ryland will get it rolling along. Unfortunately, our ladies teams missed the playoffs, but they had a good showing, made the championship pool.
Back 8, back 12.
So as you heard, Sherry just separating these out, trying to avoid a double.
Gave up 2 in the second. If she could bounce back with 3 of her own right here in the third, that would be a big bounce back in.
Yeah, sure is.
Off then. Let it grab. It's not curling anywhere yet. Now it is. Come
it down a bit.
Back house! Back house!
Gotta go.
Hard! Hard, guys.
Hard.
Back close.
Hard. You gotta be back here as far as you can. Hard.
Okay. Whoa.
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 Good.
Okay.
Robin Silvernagle bringing that stone back as far as she could to give herself a bit of an angle to make the double here.
Yeah, that's what she'll be playing.
Boy, you look at that broom placement. She's expecting this rock to fall back.
To back up, yeah.
You go feet back. Yeah. For the double?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2/3. And if we end up hitting and rolling.
Yeah.
And honestly, we have to go along with her on this. We haven't seen that many hits this wide all week long. A lot of the play has been inside the edge of the forefoot.
Yep.
She did throw her blank attempt here in the first in a similar location. Sweep's been off and on. Actually curled to the inside, makes the hit, rolls over. It is shot rock, so Sherry Anderson will have to make a play on it. But if she can make the nose hit, she'll pick up 3 points here in the second.
Start up easy, Jen. Right there, I think, hey? I threw in the first end, and I threw big, so this should be nice right there.
Well, we certainly have seen this 4-foot line give some teams a few problems. It's a bit of a tricky 4-foot line.
Yeah, right on the 4-foot line, it should run.
As Sherry says, the 4-foot line should just run here. If you ever get just a tad inside off that 4-foot line, it will curl. But the 4-foot line itself should just run. We've seen that all week long.
Easy 10.
Yep. Hard, both of you. Hard, both of you.
Called the brush on early. Called it on from both ends. They're still on that 4-foot line. Can they hold it enough to hold the shooter? Makes contact, actually jams it onto one of her stones at the back and will hold the shooter. So it will be a score of 2 for Sherry Anderson, and we're all tied up after 3.
Awesome.
Not better. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Well, it was 2 points for Sherry Anderson, but a bit of a missed opportunity. Had the chance for 3, just got inside the line they were looking for. Able to hold the shooter, but not able to hold the line well enough to get it by their own stone at the back of the 12-foot.
Yeah, it was a great sweep, just as you say, to hold that shooter. It was looking perilous as they're coming in over that hog line.
Yeah.
Good sweep to get the 2 points.
Yeah, that curls just a little bit more. She's only getting 1. And what a turnaround that would have been, a chance for 3. But it does draw us tied. I want to thank Mitch Minkin for being with us last end, president of CurlSask. Gives us a little bit of information about what's coming up. We talked a little more during the break, and it's not just Saskatoon for next year that they're working on. They've got sites for the next 3 or 4 events into the negotiation phase anyway, and that's good to hear. It's nice to know a little bit ahead of time where we're headed.
Yeah, and especially for the host committees and the organizers, it's pretty big.
That kick would have been good.
Nice to have the time.
Oh, Nance.
Well, I have really
Not
put the
Nancy.
jigsaw on Cara Tunnell here tonight.
Not Nancy.
Not a
Not
strong
Nancy.
opening shot here for her in
No
the
line.
fourth.
For deep, come back here.
Sliding to the back 12 foot like that. It's- That has not been characteristic of how she's played all this week.
Anyway, go. Okay. Good way.
Like this.
Yep.
Or you can just come to here too.
Whatever
What
you
do
like.
have, half?
I have like more than 3/4.
Okay, even this is okay.
So looking at playing bumper, hitting and rolling away.
Should run nice.
Yeah, I
don't think it'll move a lot.
You know, last end that too, psychologically, you know, that's
Solid hack. Good hack.
it's a good two if there is such a thing for the Silvernagle team. They were looking at 3 all in, never managed to cut them down, and suddenly at the end to get 2, I think they were pretty happy with only giving up 2 points.
Go, 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 go.
Real nice, Cara. Other girl.
Cara makes the gentle tap through and rolls her shooter over to the corner. It's Silvernagle sitting 2 right now.
Solid bump. Okay? 10 and a half, solid bump.
So 11. Solid bump 10 and a half.
Solid bump, 10 and a half. Okay, so 11? Obviously she didn't hear.
10 and a half. Yep. 11. Whoa.
Oh.
Clean.
Whoa.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Watch the roll now. It's right in front of it. Right in front of it. Go. Good show, kid.
Looking for a bit of a roll. Didn't get much.
Yeah, those is good too, Jess.
Okay.
11. Yeah, pretty straight here.
You bet.
Go straight up.
Here we're going to see that 4 foot line, I think, coming this way.
It's going to be difficult to get any kind of a roll to the outside. She'd have to pass it by her own still, so
Little soft. Yeah, get in. 11
there might be a double available after this one.
Hard.
11-5.
Whoa, we'll roll the other.
Looking now to roll the other direction.
Yep. Whoa. Okay. 11-6. 11-5. 11-6. Okay. 2x, class 4.
This way is not
Good
really
look at it. Rolled a
moving
little
great,
bit past the guard.
I like the angle better there.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
It's pretty fast here, so.
Yeah.
15-6, I think. Yeah.
Yep, for line. Hard line.
8.
Hard line.
8, 9.
Hard line.
On this early, trying to hold it along that 4 foot line.
2x. Room. Gotta go. No. Line
7,
8. Line straight. Let it bend. Let
Good
it
job
bend.
by the Brushers to get that
on the
by.
face, Sally. Right on the face.
Is on
Right
the inside
face.
half of
Go,
that
go,
4
go,
foot
go,
line
Sally,
early,
all
and a
the
lot of
way.
times those rocks really
Really
curl.
nice.
Yeah, that was a nice team shot. Great sweep and nice shot by Megan.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
A lot of the curlers did say that they loved this ice for sweeping, that they really felt they were making an impact out there with both able to carry it and to help a bit with the directional sweeping. That talking with the curlers, they said it was great sweeping ice.
Nice. Clean. Nice, Jess.
Sorry. I'm bumping you now.
That's good.
So Jesse Hunkin making the peel on the guard. That leaves just the 3 stones at the back of the house. It is the yellow belonging to Sherry Anderson that shot rock.
Place the guard, Nancy.
Okay.
If you leave anything open, leave this side.
Okay. Yeah, harder.
Yep. Line's good.
Hard nice, Allie. 3.
Yep, I want a 3.
Hard, Allie. 3.
Meaning she'd like it tight to the house here.
3.
couple feet in front would
Gotta bend a bit,
would make
Meg.
Sherry
Go.
happy here.
Yep.
Go,
Yes,
Megan!
yes, you gotta
Go,
go.
go, go,
Hard
go,
line,
go,
all the
go,
way,
go,
never
go.
off,
Hard,
never
hard,
off. Good shot.
Well, Nancy Martin had called them on early as though she thought perhaps she'd been a little bit inside, I thought. And in the end, they had to work it just to get
Again.
Yeah.
as much curl as they could.
You always get. I like this turn.
Yep.
Straight up.
You got it.
Looking to remove the guard again, but this time trying to run it back into the house, maybe take the other yellow at the back of the forefoot with it. Makes the hit, just drives it by, but gets the shooter off that center line.
I'll give you a little less ice.
Fair to say that's the main objective, and then if you can wait for it to curl at the end and catch them both, that's great.
Exactly. And I was just going to say, rolls that shooter well out of play, so it's not going to interfere if you have to make that draw to the button to save the end.
Yep, tighter line. Hard.
So we'll see if it curls a little bit more now that we're starting inside that 4-foot line. This is where we have seen it curl more so than it has to start outside the line.
Okay. Whoa.
Whee!
So it's way over curling because it sort of had a chance to, as Sean had referred to it earlier in some of our conversations, coming off the half pipe here to get a bit of a swing going.
Just tap.
Okay.
Sit here.
Okay. With what weight?
Back 8.
Give Stephanie Lawton a chance to come down here and
You tick
not that they're frozen, but try to break this up so that they've got a way to get the yellow out later.
That's enough with just back 8.
I think.
I don't mind.
Hardly move.
I know. I don't mind just a hair more.
Sure. You ever hate a hair more weight, like a move bars?
It'll run.
Well,
They'll hold
think
it.
I probably will.
Even their guards are holding
I'll
stuff.
throw back 8. You guys can sweep. Do you think or
No,
not?
we're moving 2 rocks, and that's back button. That's what I mean. Do we want to move our red further?
They're just asking if we need more than back 8. Back 12?
Sure.
Back 8?
Yeah,
Okay.
back 12.
Okay.
If we punch it through, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Straight up.
You got to step right to her.
Back 8!
Whoa, really? Whoa!
Whoa, right
Just
now.
back 8!
Whoa! Off! Right off!
Just back 12.
Okay, close now.
Back 12.
Close.
Just
to
through.
curl, Jess.
Just through.
Jess!
Just hard. Hard. Keep the angle.
Atta girl.
Really nice.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, then it won't catch on
Does
the
push the
yellow.
red through, but you can see that red-yellow combination that's there now would go by the red at the back of the 12-foot. That makes that yellow pretty vulnerable right now.
Yeah, that's why you heard Robin say keep the angle.
That's what I gave you for the guard. Probably not going to be light.
No, exactly. And you're better to face that.
Or I think just draw weight, but like that was the guard. And you didn't get to center.
Well, and as sort of painful as it is to take your own red rock out of the back of the rings, it really does help now on a future clearing shot to remove that vulnerable yellow stone if Sherry doesn't make this perfectly.
Yeah.
So they're playing the freeze, and you hear that. Sherry's got to get right to the nose.
Right to the face, girls.
Pardon?
Just telling them right to the face.
It's just behind button.
Yeah. And right on the face of it, guys. A little high side even.
Sherry Anderson with her first stone here in the 4th.
Stay with it.
Gotta move. Gotta move. It's gotta come.
Looking to freeze to stone at the back of the button.
7.
Yep.
Do it.
And this one's really curling.
Bumping.
Ready?
Bumping. Yes.
No, it's gotta curl.
Yes. Yes. Hey.
Nudges it back just a little bit. Not sure how much she's got buried. Well, just a sliver under the guard.
I think you want to get rid of it anyway. It opens up your
like that?
Are they both going?
It should. It should pull onto
How much
there.
space is in that first yellow and the red?
2
inches.
We've got about that.
Okay. So
It
probably. It should. There's about 4 between the back ones.
Yeah.
That was the trouble with overcurling, is they should be able to
Shooter's going.
get all the yellow ones.
Which is okay. Yeah. With like
She says the shooter's going, but she
yeah.
can probably
Yeah.
see enough
Yeah,
to
I'm
hold the
not
shooter
sure.
and make the yellow go away because
I
of the
agree.
overlap
pretty
is.
much as much as we can. I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I imagine.
With not being too cute.
No, definitely
Okay.
not. Might be able to save that middle red.
Hair less, I think, Steph.
Yeah.
They're real straight here.
Yeah, I like that.
Even less.
Well, as tight as she's got that broom right now, I'm thinking she's planning to throw the big weight here. Certainly has it in her repertoire.
Yep, yep!
Yeah!
Whoa, whoa!
No! Stay close though. Stay close. Whoa! Whoa! Go. Okay.
By the front one now, is either of the red going to stick around? Good communication there between Sherry Anderson and Nancy Martin. You can only sweep one behind the tee line, and they had to take turns.
Yeah.
Both of them end up leaving the rings easily. That leaves just the red stone at the back of the 12-foot in the rings. Sherry Anderson will look to make a play on it now.
Right on the nose. Wow. Then you can flop a hair, I guess, without losing it.
Yeah.
Make it difficult.
Yep. You want less ice then?
No.
Boy, I don't know why you don't look at flopping underneath the guard and
Maybe force her?
yeah.
Yeah.
On this ice, if you're buried even in the back 12-foot, I don't think she's going to try to make a play on it.
Down.
Stop.
Down. Clean. Clean.
Whoa.
10. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Roll it. Roll it. Go, go, go.
Makes the hit. Gets a little bit of a roll, but still a good 3/4 of that out in the open. So
Yeah, leaves Robin the exact same shot she just threw.
now if she comes into that red, I think that'll be out of the rings.
I think there's enough
but I'm
room there.
not positive.
She jams it.
Her shooter's going to have to roll in that direction.
It's close.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa, Nancy.
No. Same way.
You're good. You're good.
Just wait. Just wait.
You're good.
Clean. Good. Good.
Makes contact, rolls underneath that red stone, so no danger of hitting it. We get a blank end here in the 4th, and we're still tied. It'll be Silvernagle with last rock again in end number 5.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel.
Well, certainly no shortage of rocks in play in the 4th end, but Robin Silvernagle with a big weight shot on her first one. Clears out 2 Sherry Anderson stones, but also loses one of her own and the shooter in the end. Has just the hit and roll out left for the blank. And that leaves us still tied. Robin Silvernagle still with last rock here as we play the 5th.
And we see the first rock in the rings, top 4 foot. Robin electing to hit.
Weight's good. We're a little solid.
Solid. Lean. Yep. Whoa.
Other way.
Clean's good.
Little bit, Steph.
Step into 10 a bit. 10-4. Good, Kara. Good. 10-5.
Weight's good. Nice 10.
Something that we've seen from a lot of teams all week long. And really, even without the 5 rock, we've seen this for the past couple of seasons. Teams are getting more and more conscious about trying to keep the last rock into the even ends. So when Sherry Anderson slips in here, Robin Silvernagle will be more than happy to play this whole end in the house and try to get the blank. She wants last rock in the even ends.
Yes.
And I would say that, excuse me, from what I've seen watching, that they've had a change of game plan on this. Earlier in this round robin, they would have been throwing the corner guard up, even in the 5th. They've had rocks in play most ends. So I think they've probably worked their playbook here a little bit. And as you said, focusing more on getting that hammer in the even ends. We've watched them where Robin was just going, she didn't matter. She didn't care which end she was in. She was just scoring. So it looks like they've had some discussions and a bit of a change in the game plan.
Hard, guys. Gotta go. Hard. Gotta go, Ellie. Gotta go. Right up the stick. Right up the stick. All the way.
But I missed what Sherry's call was on the lead's first rock, if she called it in.
Okay. She called it in.
So again, you know, it's not going for the force and trying to make it messy and either getting the steal or getting Silvernagle force. Again, I think that's very typical Sherry Anderson. Just keep it close to the vest.
Okay.
But then that takes away Robin's game plan when you're landing something top 4 foot like that all the time. It makes a little more treacherous to throw that corner guard, and now you're chasing a little bit if another perfect center guard goes on. So I like the cat and mouse that's going on out here.
Well, except the cat and mouse here came a little bit at the expense of a miss. So Silvernagle looking to just split the rings here and sit there too without too much danger.
Gonna say, I don't think this is what Sherry Anderson had in mind as a way to stop her from blank in the end.
Yeah. No.
Well, this one's gonna slide a little bit deep.
Good. Good weight.
It'd be thin to play the double, but you can hit and roll over there, and
sit on
there
top.
should be lots of chances for doubles yet before this end is over.
There's 10 here.
Yep. Well, yep.
Really quiet.
Yes. Gotta go. Hard, Ellie. Roll it, Nance. Roll it, Ellie. Roll it. Okay, good throw.
Well, that's a good start. Trying to get those rocks a little closer together.
I don't think it'll do a lot.
Yeah, you'll see the Anderson team trying to group them, and you will now see the Silvernagle team trying to separate them.
Megan Fergus would have liked a little more roll on that one. There's room for Jessie Hunkin to come over the top and roll back towards center without risk of jamming it on her own.
10-8.
Not bad.
No.
The other thing that makes that shot a little more difficult, there you see it, just holding on that 4 foot line.
Roll it, Steph. Roll it.
Good. That's a good spot.
10-7. Roll it to there would be great.
Okay.
Nose isn't terrible, just a 10.
Yeah, if they can roll a couple feet, makes the Silvernagle team have to hit and stay on the outside, and then you'll have a good shot at the double.
Pull out.
Yep.
Clean.
Yep.
Clean.
Yep.
9-5. Just clean.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
No. I just want to roll it a foot.
I think Nancy Martin was thinking in terms of rolling in front of the red, and Really, that would have made it easier to roll back.
Exactly.
She actually rolls out of the rings altogether.
Yeah. Now they have a chance to really separate these.
So that was a 14-5 on 14-5, yeah. So 15 will be.
And you know, Sherry was very clear with what she was looking for here now through the week. Again, we've talked about, we've had some big crowds out here and some active crowds, and there has been some trouble yelling back and forth, but only one game going right now. They're not cheering other shots on other sheets. They should have been able to hear each other, and it didn't sound like Nancy knew what the call was there.
Where do you want it? Gotta go.
Keep going, plus.
Gotta
Keep
go.
going.
Just pull it.
Gotta go.
When you're the only sheet going, all the applause comes between shots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Good.
Yes, it was definitely the Cowbell Palace here last night. A few cowbells out tonight, but we had it going on both sides, and it was really exciting. That last round of the round, or last game of the round robin.
Yeah, with the pillars in the middle of the building, we're a little lonely on this side. There's no fans on our side of the building tonight because they don't have to look past the posts.
Yeah, we have no friends over here.
That rock a little higher perhaps in the rings than the Silvernagle team would have liked it. Does leave a chance for Nancy Martin to make the long roll, get these two grouped, and it's not impossible to make the double on this shot.
It's pretty thin.
I don't think the double was all that thin, but a lot thinner than where she hit it.
It's nice easy here. Yeah, 11.
Does roll almost to the center line. Stephanie Lawton now will look to hit and roll back to the corner if she can.
Stay close.
Clean. Yep.
Hard. Quick. Hard for the nose.
Good.
There, girl.
Nose is good there too.
I think she threw it a little firmer than what she'd said she was going to in the hack, and good thing because, you know, that's where Sherry Anderson's rock curled up in the third end to not get her 3 points, so that little bit stiffer weight turned out well here.
It over to about the 8th hit. It doesn't have to be right in front of it.
Yeah.
I saw Sherry Anderson take a quick look. She stepped out in front of that rock just to line them up, and I think she feels that it's still a little too steep from either way, whether it's a push double or a in-off double, so she's still going to play the hit and roll here. But you know that on her last one, if there's a shot for a double, she's going to have to try to make it to get back into a blank situation. She doesn't want to give up two going into the fifth if she can avoid it.
Absolutely, and we know Sherry's good at those.
No.
10, little firm.
Clean. No.
9-7.
No. Megan.
Watch.
Megan. Okay, good throw.
Makes the hit, but stays pretty much right there.
Okay.
A little flop would be nice.
I think they'd be happy with a little flop to the outside here.
It's going to have to make Sherry probably then, even a nose hit, Sherry's probably going to have to play the one in the back 12 foot.
That's a good point. Yeah, even on a nose hit, the double would be tough. She rolls it just a, what would you say, Kim, a foot and a half to the outside?
I think so.
It's as hard as it could be from either side.
Right, because I think if she noses right there, I think you're going to see Sherry take a run at it.
You think she'll take a run at the slash double?
Perhaps. 10-8. Little big. Oh, just a clean, guys. Easy.
10-8.
Clean it. Yep. Clean. Easy. Yep. Just a little bit. Whoa.
Good. Really nice.
Probably enough of a flop, but
Yeah, really, it's...
yeah.
No matter which way you come at it to play the double, it would be paper thin.
Yeah, no, that's
You don't
too
want to
tough.
flirt with missing it altogether.
Especially if you're going to play the out turn over there on the high one with the 4 foot line.
Turn out there, Nancy.
So you play the hit on the open one at the back, try to roll maybe towards that 4 foot line.
Right on the nose would be good. Yeah.
Well, that's why that little flop was also very nice there for Silvernagle, because now it doesn't act like a center guard here for Sherry's last one.
Yeah, if she rolled far enough to be behind it, she actually probably wouldn't be shot rock anymore. But we've seen that 4 foot line be treacherous all week long, so if you can roll to the 4 foot line, you might be able to get a roll out.
inch more.
Final stone for Sherry Anderson here in end number 2 of a tie game. She's facing 2 Silvernagle counters, looking to hit and roll into the middle, and Robin Silvernagle will have a chance to make some kind of shot for 2. This is going to have to roll in. Well, the nose hit gets her shot rock, so Robin will have to make a play on that to get her deuce.
Yeah. 11, I think it'll run right there. Yeah, I think so too. That looks good.
Based on Sherry's, I'd have to agree. Sherry's didn't really offer up much chance that it was going to roll in. It just stayed there all the way down.
Ten five.
Easy.
Yep. Little soft.
Yep, then.
Yep. Little soft. Hard.
On the sweep early.
Clean.
Here clean now, that's usually a good sign. She will hit that right on the nose. Robin Silvernagle picks up her deuce going into the 5th end break. She now has a 2-point lead. Sherry Anderson will have last rock in the 6th end, and Kim Hudson has made her way down to ice level, and she's got Robin standing by with her now. Kim?
Hey, Robin, nice 2 points in the 5th end.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, the game seems to be a little different. Last night we saw a great game against Streifel, and it seemed to be a little bit more offensive. This game seems to be a little bit different. Any reasoning for that?
No, just kind of going with the flow, I guess. I mean, there was that, second end, that there was lots of rocks in play. So, yeah, just going with what we have, and yeah.
So not part of your game plan, nothing changed? You came in with the same game plan as you did all week long?
Yeah, we've had the same game plan.
Same game plan all the way through. Doesn't matter if you're in playoffs or round robin.
Exactly.
Yeah, alrighty.
If it's working, it's working.
Absolutely. Good luck in the second half.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by SaskTel, Viterra, White Ice at Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, CurlSask, SaskTel Max TV, and Passion Curling Supplies.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Dream big in full color with Apple and SaskTel on Saskatchewan's favorite networks.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Awesome.
be better. Could have been better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel. The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel.
'Cause you're here in my house. You're here in my house. Come on in. Bring your friend. Yeah, make yourself at home. Here in my house.
The two teams here getting set to return to the ice after the fifth end break. Well, a bit of an unexpected deuce for Robin Silvernagle. The end started out quite open. All it took was one open miss, and they were able to split the rings and hold that deuce for the entire end.
Yeah, they held that deuce for a long time, actually. It was on Second's first rocks that the unfortunate miss happened, and they held it 6 further.
We were just saying before it happened that they were content to
blank
the end and keep last rock into the even ends, but I think you could say this of any team out there, regardless of the game plan. If you're going to hand them a chance for a deuce,
you take it.
They'll take it whenever it comes.
Yeah, of course.
Let's try to go that way.
Okay, straight up here, Ollie.
Nice 10.
Sherry Anderson trailing by 2, and there's a couple of ways that teams have gone about using this 5-rock free guard zone. Some cases you'll see a team throw the guard right away, and this has been the other tactic. Now it does rely on you making a very good shot here. The call is to hit and roll away from the center line. Once you've got the play away from the center line, you can still throw a corner on the next one, and they can't peel it.
My guess is that one was top button, and Sherry was thinking it was a little too good to leave. Yeah.
It does force you to make a pretty good shot on that first one if you want to throw the corner guard, because if you roll out there, you're not going to get to do it on the next one unless you're prepared to ignore the rock again.
Yeah. So as we said earlier, and as you saw, that was just flashed up, Kara was with Robin the last 2 years.
Pretty nice here, hey? Yeah, nice.
So here with that rock off the center line now. Nancy will look for the corner guard here from Allie Jenkins, and then still the fifth stone of the end to come. She won't be able to peel it.
It looks like lots to me, guys.
I think we're close.
Have a look.
No.
No. No.
Okay, sure. It's fine.
No.
It's going to be very tight if it...
Sit.
Trying to put the brakes on here.
It does.
Okay.
There we go.
Real tight?
Yep.
Come in, that's okay, but I like real tight.
Yeah.
So throwing the guard on the one that's almost fully in the forefoot.
Let's go.
Tight?
Yeah. I think
All
we can,
you, nice and tight.
we can go. Let's make pretty tight.
Line's
Just
really
make
good.
sure it goes. I don't want to kill it.
Line's really good.
It's tight. It's really tight.
Okay.
It's traveling.
Line's good.
Really tight.
Easy, we might over curl.
Okay.
We're almost a bite.
Oh, just let it die then.
Sit.
Oh, sit, Jess. Sit.
I can go a little if you
Sit.
want.
No.
Okay.
No. Sit.
Good, there, girl.
Real good.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Just as they called.
I think let's just do this.
Okay.
Looking for the hit and roll to the other corner.
Just a 10, well, 9.5. We should move a bit here.
I don't know, Kim. Is this a case of, you know Sherry better than the rest of us, but this is a case of, we know that 4 foot, she was going to call 10. That would have put her right on the 4 foot line. She moved that broom in. Is that just a
I think
veteran
that's
Sherry
exactly
move?
right. No, and I mean,
didn't want to play the 4 foot line,
exactly,
so had to move the broom in, and you needed to call more weight to do that.
Right.
Unfortunately, they roll out.
Yeah, and I might be a little bit biased when I say this, but Susan said it earlier. I mean, Sherry reads the ice as good or better than anyone out here, and she'll be very aware of all those things. She wouldn't have the resume that she does if she wasn't a great ice reader and a good strategist.
Unfortunately for the Anderson team, the risk you take when you pick up the weight is that you might roll out. That's what happened. Jesse Hunkin now a chance to make a play on the corner guard. Makes the hit. Shooter will roll through the rings and all the way out of play. And that leaves just the one red stone on the corner of the 4 foot.
So looking to replace the corner. I think we'll see a corner appeal for a while here.
Four. 3. No, you can't.
Just by itself, 2.5.
Just here. It's coming down. Oh. Good shot.
Nice corner guard by Nancy. Oh, wrong. Megan.
By Megan.
Yeah. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, right to her.
Pretty big!
Queen. Whoa, Queen. Whoa! Queen is good. No. Yeah, Queen's good. You're good. It was taking a while to go over. I got it, Sarah. Sorry about that, Helen.
Stephanie Lawton with the peel.
Hey, Hallie, just work. Same thing, Nats. Hey, give it a shot. All right. One, two.
Easy.
Make it a 2 if you can.
Nancy Martin being asked to throw one more corner guard.
Make to my broom.
This is probably the last one we'll see this end, I would think.
Probably.
Make to my broom. Really nice. Good. Good weight. Ooh. Just say.
Stephanie Lawton with the big weight peel rolls the shooter all the way across and out of play.
And just as you predicted, Sean.
Like that or no?
Well, I predicted it would be the last corner guard. I wasn't prepared to predict what she was going to do with the next one. She's opting for the freeze here, so not giving up on her chance for 2 here.
I just find that interesting. Sherry calls the freeze, and Nancy yells down, like that or no? Going, but you just called it, so you must like it. So it's just, there's always a little bit of indecision here or uncertainty on some of the communication back and forth here that on the call. I find it fascinating to listen to. When you're the opposition, you're trying to find any edge you can in who you're playing.
Nice shot.
Well, it might. They're not. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're on center. Yeah. It'll go. Yep. Is there? Okay. So right there. Let's go.
I don't want to say no hesitation because Robin did have to go up and take a look at it, but very little hesitation. Try to blast these out of here. She'll lose her shooter as well. Leave nothing left in play. There'd be nothing wrong with guarding this either.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. 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 Clean. Yeah. 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 Break it. Break it. Break it. Break it.
That would have been hard to pick that one when there was only an inch of separation.
Well, it touches the second one, but leaves it in the rings.
Yeah, I didn't know that was...
I don't even know if they wanted to leave that in the rings.
Well, they're going to hit. It's okay.
Sherry's going to hit it now.
Yeah.
But that's certainly been one of the big evolutions in the women's game, is the ability to throw that big weight hit. I timed that at just 7.2 seconds hog to hog, and that's pretty stiff weight. So when you can easily throw that weight, then it opens up a whole repertoire of shots, that style of play that you're able to play. And so many more women now are throwing that big weight, and you have to have that skill set now to play out at this level.
Well, the 3 teams that are left have that at skip and third.
Absolutely.
All three teams have the ability to throw the big weight.
And it helps that the ice is running nice and quick too. It does, but
yeah,
still,
but they can throw that. Yeah.
And I dare say, from what we've seen this week, not to say that Megan Ferris can't. She throws the big weight pretty well too, but Jessie Hunkin as well throws the big weight very well, and proves in so doing that you don't have to be physically all that large to be able to do it. It's all about technique. Jessie, probably one of the smaller players in the competition, and certainly has no problem generating big weight.
Stick is good.
We've had a few of those types of players through Saskatchewan in the last few years. I remember Taryn Holtby has done it.
Dana Demers.
Dana is one of the ones missing from this competition. Yeah.
Just a clean. Clean. Yep.
Hard!
Looking for the nose hit here. Got to the 4-foot line. Brusher's doing a great job to hold it.
Good. That's good.
Makes the hit, rolls to the other side of the center line. Back 4-foot. Changes up the shot a little bit for Sherry Anderson. She'll look now to hit and roll out for the blank.
Okay, guys.
And even inside the 4-foot line here, she's got Broom on the edge of the rock looking to roll out. Call the sweep on right away. Allie Jenkins trying to hold the line. Makes the hit. Megan Frericks on the roll, and they do get it out of the rings. It's a blank end. Robin Silvernagle continues to lead 4-2. Sherry Anderson continues to have last rock.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel. The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel.
Well, Sherry Anderson able to make the hit and roll out with her final stone to get the blank. She'll keep last rock here into the 7th end. We've talked a bit this week about the even an odd end situation when you're down 2 this late in the game. Can you really afford to let that factor into your decision, or do you have to start throwing the corner guards now and look for the deuce even in the odd end?
I think we're about to see.
You were supposed to answer before she called, though.
Basically, hey, all on its own.
That's the coward's way out, to wait
Well,
and see what happens,
well,
and
then
then
you have
say,
to ask
well,
the
she's going to
question
throw
sooner.
Well, we were in the commercial sooner.
Okay, kids.
Lots of room. No, I just want a
3.
a too high
4 right now.
It looks like
4, 5, hands.
4, 5.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
That
then
means
go
it's in the rings.
hard, all the way back. Deep,
Well, what
deep,
Sherry's
deep,
thinking
deep,
then
deep.
is if it's a 4-5, let's get it behind the tee line.
So that if they nose and sit on it, then maybe you've got something to freeze with.
Something to use, for sure.
Lead's pretty good. Lead. Yep.
Because that stone slid into the rings.
Clean.
Tara Teveno able to make a play on it.
That's clean.
What is
Good.
it?
Weight's good.
Clean good.
What is it?
Clean good.
10-5. Yes or no?
Makes the hit, stays right there.
That was close. Yeah. Right there.
So Sherry now calling for the guard in between these two, hoping to make the peel a little more difficult.
Looks like. Okay, I want to be fairly tight here, guys. Right here.
We are.
Right
3.
here. Yep. Yep. Good. Good.
Good, Allie.
Good way.
Sherry looking for it tight. For exactly the same reason you just said, Kim. If this is a long guard, it's real easy to pass it over top of either one of those two.
I don't mind this.
Probably curled a little more than I would have liked. Pretty good guard.
Catching me every time. I
like
that.
Right here.
Yeah, we do too. You bet. All right, nice and tight, guys.
So calling for the tight center.
Let's go.
This looks more like the game that Silvernagle's been playing most of the week. Getting aggressive even without hammer to really put it to the opposition here. But
Well, dictated
And
a
it's
little
been-
bit by the
yeah.
rule.
well, for sure. But
She wanted to peel. The front end said we're not allowed.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Whoa, line's good.
We're probably in. I think we're top 12.
Frozen?
Top 12.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Take it on.
What's
so tight.
What's line?
Whoa,
We're to it. Little tap.
We're there already.
Little tap.
No.
Bounce it
Yeah,
up.
bounce it big. Bounce it big. Okay,
that's
Jen.
Okay.
I don't think that's what they had in mind.
No.
Just a little. You just have to move it like that. Just T-line.
So Sherry's looking at building a bit of a wall here, tapping this just a foot.
14 and a half there.
Yeah, we can tap it a hair.
I see Jesse Hunkin not happy with that throw.
14.8 on that.
Six. 7. Room to it. Room.
Tons of
Lead's
room.
good. No line.
Tons of room.
Nancy's rock. 8.
Coming down.
Curl. It's got to curl big time. Really good throw, Meg. Good weight.
Just didn't quite work out the way they wanted, but
No.
Okay.
good throw. They wanted to get to the
Little
other
tap,
side.
but if they stay the yellow in
Exactly.
between the two reds,
In
it's
the
difficult to
inside.
remove.
Mhm.
Right now, Robin Silvernagle looking to
Okay.
move a lot of granite. She actually doesn't like those reds where they are.
Mhm.
So a nose hit probably kills all three of them.
Yeah.
The yellow and both reds. And the shooter would stay up at the top of the 4-foot.
Right.
And we were just talking last end about how well
Weight's
Jesse
good.
Hunkin throws the big weight.
Whoa. Never. Clean. No. Clean it. Whoa. You got a piece. Whoa. Stay close. Yes. 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 Good. That's
Sorry,
good.
guys.
Just like the plan.
That's good. Sorry. That really finished hard.
Boy, almost held the one red in the rings. It just barely got out the side of the 12-foot. That would have been a little bit of a bonus to get them out of the back of the button area. And
Let's try to hit and roll over here, Meg.
Okay.
Just, feel like a 10? 10?
Yeah. Yep.
Not quite the same hairdo I've gone for today. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, your hair isn't quite that curly. Super fans. They were telling me earlier today when I chatted with them back at the hotel, all the rest of the curling they plan on going to this year, the men's provincial, the skins game out in Alberta, and then they're heading over to the Worlds. Super fans.
We were wondering if you had enough Saskatchewan colored wigs to get through the week, and that's his second one of the day, so there must be a few extras in the tickle trunk yet.
Yeah, his tickle trunk's pretty full. Lots of options, I think.
I don't even mind this. Okay. Or nose isn't bad.
Should have a double?
Does leave her the double, yeah. It's
I like
skinny,
a low
but
roll.
it's there.
I like the low roll.
Even if you can get a corner tuck,
Yep.
might leave her that double, but it's rolling.
Yeah.
This way will come nice.
Okay.
Jessie's moved nicely.
Stay close here. Yep.
Ten five. Yep.
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 Hard.
Hard.
Other way?
Hard for nose. This is good. Okay, that's okay.
Stephanie Lawton was looking for the hit and roll. It's just going to get the nose.
Nice weight. The hair snatch. Probably could have gave her a hair more.
You're not going to be shot, but I think you got to hit.
I was just thinking if she just plays the hit and roll, she won't be shot, but it's
it
thin to make the double.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it's like there.
Exactly like you just said.
Okay. But
Good
if we
chance you can
try
hit
it, I
and
mean,
roll
worst
over
case
top.
we're fat and roll under, right?
Well,
I think there's room between
to fat
roll
and
under.
is a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
difference.
Yeah.
Come and have a look at it, Nancy. We
I
got
think
lots
the
of
in
time.
between is what you end up there, where you
That's
roll
tough.
over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Sherry was just saying too when she said come have a look at it, Nancy, that's something you do with someone who's skipped a lot. Nancy's played the last, I don't know how many, well, I think almost her entire curling career skipping, and it's different to look at when you're in the house from the other end.
Oh yeah, you can't tell from the hacks
True.
how steep these angles
Yeah.
are.
It's there to stick it.
From the house, a lot of times these look like they're straight across.
Yeah.
Well,
or sometimes they look easier from the other end.
Yeah. I like trying for it, but I mean, what's the other option? Try this one?
Probably the option is what Sherry called the hit and roll.
What else do you think?
Well, the other one Nancy's looking at is the run back on the yellow guard onto the shot stone.
Well, I'm saying
It's a longer run back than you'd have to stick it.
What do you like
even,
then?
even like that.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Even the nose isn't terrible. I just think that's super thin.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
unless
Just
you
a
wanna
10?
try it, if you
Just
want
a
to try
10?
it, you can.
It's fine. Just a 10?
Yep.
Okay.
Playing the hit and roll. Back to the original call.
How's that look?
Hers curled up a lot, hey? Yeah.
Don't really want to say that.
I'll give you a hair more.
And you know that
I
Steph
think
played
so,
a lot
Sharon.
of
We
years
can afford
with
to be a little
Sherry,
thinner with
so
the 10.
Sherry's
Okay.
pretty good at reading
Just a 10.
Stephanie's
Just
throws.
roll in front or just to it.
Whoa. 10.
Oh.
Solid 10.
Whoa! Whoa, Allie!
Sounds like they might get the thin double.
Yes! Whoa!
Yeah, it's
Nope,
curling
change of
now.
plan.
Whoa!
Makes the hit, rolls across
Roll
and
over the
over the top of it,
Yeah.
Okay.
out into the open.
Okay. Oh, it ran and then went. Just got caught in the middle.
Even this. I like this. Yeah. Should run real nice out here.
10-5, hey?
So what am I throwing? Okay.
10-5.
Does force the Silvernagle team to make a play on it.
Yeah, we'll give Sherry a chance to come around the corner.
And again,
Bit of a panic out
they
of their
call
hands.
this sweep on right away. Makes the hit very
Whoa.
thin, comes onto her own.
Yeah, people everywhere. They're all down.
Bodies flying.
Triple takeout.
Yeah.
And they got a rock, too.
And did they do all that without touching anything?
They did all of that without touching anything, and the
they're
shooter, when
good.
it came across and took out their own, spun up a little bit, so I think it's still
Behind
pretty
the
much
corner?
dead buried.
Oh, there
There's
you
a
go.
look, a little bit
Well, it
more
actually-
sticking out.
Yeah.
That may actually help the Silvernagle team if this stone
gets around.
There might be a short run on the angle available.
Go ahead for me. Whoa. Just short of tee.
Whoa.
Room.
No.
6.
It's close.
Whoa.
Got a curl.
6,
No.
7. 6, 7.
Ollie's rock. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
7.
Yes.
6.
Let it work. Yes.
6. Hard. 7.
Right up. Right up. Okay. Really nice. Good shot.
I'm assuming we're going to see exactly what you said here,
they
Sean.
left
That's
that-
pretty tight.
It's a really short run back.
Yeah.
You got about a quarter of the yellow and 2/3 of the red. So that's probably easier. We only need a quarter of it. Yeah.
I like it then.
With the
So playing the run.
Sure.
Or the,
Yep, it won't.
whatever you want to call it, red onto yellow.
Let's go straight up here, Rob.
When she says she only needs a quarter, but she only needs a quarter to stick it, you could hit this almost on the nose and still get rid of the yellow. So they're so close together. It's
Yeah, they're about.
if she gets by the guard, it's hard to miss.
You got it.
There you see a great shot of the viewing area. It's a great facility for the spectators.
10. Roll down.
Well, again, they've called the sweep on hard right away. Seems to be holding on the outside of that line. Makes the hit onto the yellow, out the back, and that stone now should be pretty much dead buried. And there you can see it. You can't see anything from either side on that stone.
Sherry looking at dead sticking it.
Just an
The
inch
come around
more.
now would be really tough. You'd have to get by. They
One in the rings.
It's a 10 straight back there.
And I was following on
Okay.
God,
That
that
means
means
you
you
were
were
going to
asleep.
stay.
Yeah.
Straight up.
still for Sherry Anderson, if she can absolutely dead nut this on that shot stone, she'd still be buried, and two's not out of the question. Hard to do this without popping it out in the open a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Little firm. Whoa. Whoa. Close.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa, Megan.
Still backing up on that line. They need some curl here.
Sounding close.
Makes the hit. Does catch the redstone. Now, was it enough to get it out of the rings, or is it going to come into the side of that other one and hangs on for a bite?
She'll come into play and have the force. Sherry will have to take her one.
Yeah, but that's enough. Go run.
Yeah.
Nothing cute.
Yeah, that was close.
It did.
Yeah.
Gotta be by, right?
Yep.
It finished nice for Nancy in there.
Yep.
Few lines not bad.
Yeah, Ed half tuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Half tuck is real nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure we have enough to get by.
Yeah, I think that looks fine.
Speed should be good, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice spot here. 15. Yep. You got it, Rob.
So looking at coming around, you'll see Sherry have to hit the 4-foot.
Reach
Top-
close.
top four.
Easy room. Close for line. Room. Top
Nice.
four. Line. T-line.
No.
Line. Not yet. No.
We have
Back
room. It
four.
is curling lots.
Back four.
Okay,
Back
it's
four
curling
right now.
lots.
Whoa.
Needs to stop here.
Whoa.
Okay,
Whoa.
tuck it up.
Yep.
Whoa. That's good. Whoa, Tara.
Easy. Whoa.
Whoa.
That's fine. Good spot. That's good.
I think if I stay in here, it'll be good.
So Sherry wanting to stay in the quick path.
No.
Needs to draw to a bite of the 4.
I had hers at 14.9, but I had 14.7. So.
That's always such a nice bonus
So I
when you're a
control
skip like Robin there, to get that open draw with no danger. To just keep that draw weight going, because she's been throwing some big weight hits that that's just one of those little extra bonuses there that just file away, because she's probably going to need a draw here somewhere in these last 3 ends.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Anderson, the one needing a draw now. And she feels like she might be heavy.
Too much. Gotta let it stop.
Stay close.
It's running.
No, I don't want to.
Not at all.
Stay close.
No. Can't.
Not at all.
You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
No. Just
Off them. Off them. Off them.
Not going to be able to get to that redstone just delivered by Robin Silvernagle, so it needs to stop on its own, and will, right on the button, picks up her single point, and she will close to within 1. Robin Silvernagle will take last rock into the 8th.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Dream big in full color with Apple and SaskTel on Saskatchewan's favorite networks.
Well, Sherry Anderson, I think thought she might be a little bit heavy when she let go of her last stone in the 7th end, but pulls it right onto the button.
Yeah, they didn't touch it all the way down.
Does pick up her single point. That's enough to close to within 1 of Robin Silvernagle, but Silvernagle will have last rock here in the 8th end. And the opening guard call comes up just short of the rings. Critical that stopped in time, so that they couldn't play the hit on it, but they're going to try a tick.
Yeah, actually just splitting it onto the rings. And they can hit it with their next one.
Little big. Whoa,
Yeah, back 12. Through.
Roll to the hat.
Whoa, be patient.
Yeah, to the hat. Yeah. Wow. To the hat. Stop. Good. Real nice.
Makes the hit.
I can stay on my feet.
Yeah. Atta girl. Pistol.
Nice shot.
And interesting, had they hit that harder,
Got pretty soapy up here.
Nancy Martin had stayed down there to try to jump on that sweep.
Wasn't going. Okay.
And I don't know what was going to happen, but I don't know if the officials would have caught it. That's not allowed. You can only have 1 sweeper on the tick, and it has to be the player in control of the house.
Right on the E here, guys.
So Sherry deciding that she's going to got to get this steal here going, ignoring the red rock in the rings.
Tight as it'll go.
Well, the nice thing for Sherry Anderson here after that nice split that was made by Cara Teveno is that now as you put this center guard up, later in the end when they're trying to peel, there are rocks on both corners that this could jam on and come back to the middle.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. Do you want to come this way? Just no.
Now coming around,
You like go to the left?
because that center guard is quite a bit longer.
Finish with a little less weight.
Yeah, you got this. Top 8. Let's go.
Whoa line, whoa early if you can. It's less than
Whoa early.
Like
Whoa
to go soon.
Go then. Line's fine.
Go if you have to. Line's good. Top 12.
Hard then.
Hard. Line's really good.
Line's great.
Hard, Steph. Hard.
Top 8. Top 8.
Okay, all you.
Ollie.
Top 4. Whoa.
Cross your knees.
Sliding good. Whoa.
Whoa. Sit.
Right before.
Sit.
Nice shot.
That's good.
Nice adjustment on her weight because as Carrot's, she'd been heavy on a couple of her draws. And it's less than what I've been throwing, and I'm sure everybody thought that was good.
Yeah, nice shot.
Good to hear. Yeah.
So the Anderson team looking now to sit on top of that one.
And then with the 1 point lead and last rock, you'll see Robin Silvernagle start making some yellow ones go away.
You bet. Well, you know which direction she's going to be peeling that one.
Yes, you do. Still, you know, if you don't make the double, there is the chance you could bring the other one back in. She's going to peel it towards the yellow, but it's not impossible that you could bring it back towards the center. You hit it just wrong.
Probably about half.
Well, she's saying half. I think she's trying to get them both.
Okay. Little less, even third.
Straight up. Let's go.
Go. Whoa. No. Whoa. Okay, good. That's good. Get that tip. Scratch it.
A little thin on the first one. Drives it by. But certainly that's hitting it on the safe side. If you go over the top, you're never going to bring it back to the middle.
2.5. Yeah. We'll take it to 3.
So looking at getting this one just a little tighter.
Hard for line. Hit it. Hard for line. Hard for line.
We're all there.
Okay.
3.
Whoa.
2.5. 2.5.
Okay. Good shot.
Nice shot. I'll play the same thing again. Robin taking a quick look where to hit it.
By getting that a little bit tighter, though, it's harder to go over the top with it.
Yep. Wow.
Quite the hairdo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially for a women's team.
Yeah. A little spiky.
Yep. Hard! Gotta go. Hard! Whoa! Yeah! Flip it. There.
Nicely done.
That's not the first time she's done that this week either. I can vouch for that. That's a pretty standard shot for Jessie. She expects to make those most of the 90% of the time, and she does.
And it's huge because it means they can now peel safely to that side of the house for the rest of this end. And that's why you have Sherry Anderson looking at other shots already.
Okay.
Right? No. I like that myself. If you can corner freeze on that.
Sure.
Did see them having just a bit of a discussion. Nancy had a different idea, but Sherry said, I think this is what we would like to play.
I don't think the speed's really any different here, you guys. The top 8? Yeah, right to it, hey?
So playing the freeze.
Gotta try to get to the full face.
Yeah.
Full nose.
It'll crack it. Yeah. Right up. Looks like
we're all there right now. 6, 7. It's all 7 right now.
Roll then.
Gotta go for line.
6.
You gotta go
7.
for line.
7, 8. Just line.
Hard! Whoa!
Nope. Tapping a bit.
Nope.
No.
Gotta go.
Very nice. Good. However,
sweepers.
Just off the nose double.
Right. Yep. The fact that that top yellow one is so close, it's.
Okay. Think it'll run right here, Steph.
I wasn't sold on that call. It leaves this one too easy.
Straight up. Yep. Straight up.
Right to it. You can't, Steph.
And actually, when they bounced off just that slight little bit, there might be room for Stephanie Lawton to just pick the double clean, so to speak, not lose any red ones. She might be sitting 3 when she's done this. We've seen this a few times. They called the sweep on right out of her hand, and this one's already on the wrong side of the yellow to make the double. Actually, will clip her own out.
Sure.
Calling for time, so we're going to get a listen here at the coaches. We do have them mic'd as well, so Cheryl Beckler on her way down and Leslie McEwen for the Silvernagle team. We'll listen in.
Well, what do you like, ladies? Do you play the hit on the open one, or do you just throw the guard and try for the hard steal?
Well, I'm...
Yeah, just stay in the game.
Well, I know, but...
You know, if it was the 10th end, you're throwing the center guard. You know, so do you take that mentality into the 8th? Or do you try to just sort of minimize damage, get the force?
The steal here is a great situation. You tied up after 8.
I'm thinking that...
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but giving up 3 or 4 might be also.
Second, it's not the end of the world if we give up 1 this end, right? Force 1, and we're going 2.
I think we don't want
the
to
guard's
nose.
none.
If we nose, it goes there, so we're second.
As long as we don't set up a double, right?
Yeah.
Well,
can we do it?
I think she's playing the short run if you don't guard.
The thing is, you could roll even over here.
Yeah.
You can't really get right behind there without setting anything up, right? What happens if...
She's playing that. Plays the run all day.
And then I have to make a double.
Right. Any benefit of doing a corner freeze on there for a second? Or is that too dangerous?
No,
We might put too many. I
think
think we got to do something there. I like that.
Okay. You want to try to come into it? It's like 9-5 and...
Whichever
Sure,
three, you know, best.
9-5, like you
Yeah,
said.
I think
we've got
so.
a lot of house
We can,
to go.
yeah.
I think ideally there.
Yeah.
If we go right behind it, it's not the end of the world. What do
The
you think?
problem with this, as I see it, you just said a force is good here, but I don't know how you get a force if you hit this. Sherry said herself, when they make the short run, and certainly it is short enough, you expect her to stick it behind. She's going to have to play the double. It's not going to be in the rings, and Robin gets out with a blank.
I mean, I think it almost finish. It's like,
Let's first and second and not set up a double.
Straight up here.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Hard.
Hard.
To second. Hard. Hard. Guard. Okay. Okay.
Nancy Martin, perhaps just a little inside on that one. They were on the sweep right away.
Whichever.
Rolls the shooter out.
Do you want to dead nut it or do you want to
important to
get
stick
the
around
roll?
there.
Either one.
Because you can split them up too.
Like, I don't even mind this. Yeah, either one, Steph. It's,
Nud's pretty good.
she makes the double, it's out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever's controllable.
She actually doesn't have to run it straight back now, though. She could. That's what they were talking about. She has to just a little off. She might not have to leave a double. Is the key here.
It should move a little bit. Switching up the turn from what Stephanie just threw.
Yes!
Easy!
Hard! Oh, yeah!
Makes the hit.
Nice.
Stuffs it straight back. Does sit 2.
Yeah, they could have swept a little less and had a little more angle and separation on that. But having said that, nice shot. Does give Sherry the double in return.
Just high, yeah.
And, you know, Silvernagle will be pretty happy with a blank here as well.
Okay, guys, let's get the double.
Yeah.
Firmer. Yep.
Nine. Yes.
Looks to hit this off the nose to get the double. Maybe a little too late to try to go the other way. Nuts it straight back. And still mostly in behind cover.
Yeah, I think that's the call. Hey? I think so too.
We got to make her chase us.
Back 8? Back 8. Yep. Yeah. Want to be even if we're here. Okay. That's good.
There's a bit of room between those two, hey?
Yeah. Yeah. Like 2 feet, 3 feet.
So we
can use those
if
we have
it if she happens to bury.
Or I think this turn's going to be better. Do you like here better?
No, I don't think that matters.
No, I like that side.
Yeah.
Just thinking if she misses this, well, she,
no,
yeah.
I like
Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Let's go. Back 8. Speed should be good.
So just going open side.
I think so, yeah. I think it should be good here.
Speed should be good here. This will run so well.
I agree.
The front end already thinking ahead to slashing if Sherry tries to bury it.
I timed one of theirs here that was like 16, so.
Oh,
yeah, it's a nice
right.
clap here. Yeah.
Are we at that point in the game here? Does Sherry try to bury one rather than protect against 3?
No, I don't.
If you shook your head any harder, you'd hurt your neck, I think.
Weight's close.
Mine's
good, all you. Back 8, guys.
All you, running.
Line's good, it's curling now. It is curling.
Running, easy, all you.
Line's moving.
All you.
Make sure. Just for weight, right to my broom.
Careful.
It's curling.
Looks like a lot of weight as it crosses the hog line.
Let it sit. Let it
They were worried early that it might be light.
Oh. Stop. No. Good. That's good. You're good. You're good. Good.
Well, it comes to rest of the back 12,
pretty
but
deep. That might make you think a little bit.
well, if you stick the run back again, you're shot rock now.
Yeah, it changes things.
What do you guys like?
Decision time.
You run? Or
You
do
run
like
and
to
be
drop?
shot. Or
Yeah.
drop.
We just played the run.
Slightly different angle, but yeah.
Well, I take
You don't want to give up 3.
Well,
It's only danger not playing the run. Unless you nail it.
Right? If I stick it, you can't get. Yeah. As long as I don't.
Right?
Yeah, you make this run now the way it is with that rock going deep. She's got to draw for her 1. So can get the force by playing this.
I like this better. Yeah. I like this right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're shot if we stick it.
Yeah.
And at least make her work for it.
Yeah.
Can I have an inch more or no?
You can hold it.
So just hitting it almost on the nose, hair on the high side. Darn, that's our mic that's causing the problems. You probably screwed that up, Sean.
I didn't put it on her, so.
No.
Oh, she
Less weight than
got
last
a
time.
bit.
oh.
Megan.
Needs close to the nose, so they're trying to get some extra curl here.
Okay.
Well, she's going to pass that by the stone altogether, and now Robin Silvernagle a chance to draw for 3 anywhere in the rings.
It's not going anywhere.
You could just see that on the release. Her hand going out to the right like that. And she knew it split second as soon as she did it.
15, yeah.
My pass from my first rock again?
It looks like it, yeah.
This is
Usually
like
draw
that
4
one.
foot, like this is no backing.
No, I like that pass, but it does curl a little bit.
But she'd asked for that little inch of ice, right? So you're just clearly just a shred of doubt there if you've got the broom in the right spot. So I think just a little compensation there on the release. And now we have a draw for 3.
Line's out there, so just for weight.
Line's good.
We're running a little
Running
bit.
a bit.
Running a little bit. Line's still good. It's starting to go now.
Back 4.
Okay.
T-line.
It's no
all
backing.
You, all you.
No
T-line.
backing right now.
Back 4.
Okay. Just a clean.
T-line.
Good.
Robin Silvernagle with her final stone here in end number 8. Puts it right on the button. She'll pick up 3 big points to take a 4-point lead into the 9th.
Wrong guy. You move on me.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
The internet's constantly expanding, but you can keep up with unlimited internet. So whatever you like to watch, stream, upload, and share, do it all with unlimited internet from SaskTel.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Sorry.
Well, a huge miss by Sherry Anderson leaves Robin Silvernagle the chance to draw for three.
Here's
Robin,
her draw for three.
Nice weight out of her hand. The brusher's no more than clean. Picked it up a little bit at the end just to make sure they could put it on the pin for their skipper. And that now opens up a huge 4-point lead with just the two ends left to go. We say that as a huge lead because we've talked a few times this week about some of the 3-point ends that we've seen coming home to pick up wins. That fourth point,
not four,
almost becomes extra huge just for that reason.
Right.
Sherry's going to need to try to pick up at least a deuce here.
You have top 8, a little more room. Yeah, a little bit more room. All you, more
Which, as we know, 5-rock rule, deuce isn't that tough. I say that very confidently sitting here on the bench.
No, but that's true. The deuce, I mean, if you make your shots, it's pretty hard to stop a team from scoring two.
Yeah.
Having said that, that still puts you in a position where you need to steal two coming home just to get
But
an extra in. So do you have to play very aggressively to try to set up your three here?
I agree.
And I guess here's the answer because she's throwing the second corner guard right away.
Yeah.
2. Oh, don't kill the line.
No, Megan's in. Right even. Just even. Good. Nice weight.
Job, Allie. Good throw.
Yeah, nice weight. I still like this back here.
Yeah. Really nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Room early. Really tight. Room early. Room. Whoa, needs to curl. Let it work. Really tight. Let it work quite a bit. Let it work.
Top 12.
You might have to finish it.
Top 12.
Okay, whoa then.
No, just tight.
Tight.
Easy.
Hard
finish.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Hard. Hard. Finish. Hard. 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 Good.
That's good.
That's good.
The check side anyways.
I think you gotta try to tap it a little bit.
Good, Jess.
Back 4. And if you rub the top, it's okay. Okay. Yep. Hard.
Back 8. Back 4.
Hard.
No.
Whoa.
Just draw around.
This one is really curling.
No, we're on this one. We got to curl. Okay.
Wasn't a lot of ice.
Mm.
Huh? Wasn't very much ice.
What do you like?
I think the same thing. All three are never going.
Yeah, they got some work to do.
Yeah. Well, no, it's pretty hard.
I like,
you like the same thing?
Jesse going to take a look.
Yeah,
Time for a little chat.
I know what Robin's thinking here. It's you can't peel all three guards, and if you throw the guard, Sherry Anderson's going to have to start to clean things up, and she wants to be on the offense, but
There's so many guards now.
These are so good.
Like they are.
The other
They're
option
going
is going in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of that was my first thought. It was maybe hit and
We
flop,
can
but
be here. Here's okay.
It's like that draw there.
I think so.
We got some rocks to get rid of.
We can call the timeout too. Like we have lots of time.
Yeah, I think that's the call, Robin.
Do you like it, Rob?
Like even if they're running that yellow, they're running it in a bad angle too.
Well, that's just it. If if I'm Sherry Anderson right now,
Like, I mean, even
I think I'd like to have a clear view of those three red rocks.
I think if you're
so
Sherry
please
Anderson,
peel
you'd-
something. But
You like coming here?
this is going to give Sherry they've said they've got a lot of work to do if you can get this rock on the center line.
I think if you're Sherry Anderson, you'd like to be red.
I think that's okay.
Oh, exactly.
Okay, let's do it.
For sure. But
What do you think for speed on
I don't
this
think
side?
it'll
if I'm Sherry, I'm saying, oh, please peel something. I've got lots up there
I don't
already.
think it'll curl hard.
Okay.
It will or won't?
Won't.
It will not.
So just this. That's the center line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weight should be similar over here, you guys, or what?
I think you'll be able to finish it, but I think it'll run nice. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go, Jess. Tolerance is top 12, so. Yeah.
well, not the end they had in mind to play, but
Lower
the opportunity has come for them here to put a little pressure on, make the Anderson team play some takeouts perhaps, which is not what they want to play.
No, but they do have a ton of rocks in play, so I'm thinking there's going to be chances. And we are only on seconds. Here comes Megan's first rock.
This is Megan's second.
Second
It
rock,
was hers
sorry.
On the first one that,
Yeah.
don't know whether it picked
Well, that
or
or the
not.
center one, try to hit 9/10 on, or 3/4 this side and roll this way, right? Catch what you can catch
Yeah.
with peel.
Like this, you're thinking?
Well, one side or the other, yeah. We got to make contact.
Okay. Give me. Smash them around. Firm. Yep.
Yeah.
Hard.
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 Hard. Right up.
Hard.
Right up. Right up.
Megan Frericks looking to make the run back, see if she can move a couple of reds.
Okay.
Well, just unfortunate there, hit them all in line, although the lineup not quite as straight as it was before.
Yeah, it changes it a little.
If you ever had direct access to it, you could probably make all three of them go.
I'll just throw my big rock.
Shoot.
Well, I guess one of the only good things for the Anderson team is it's all yellow out front when they're...
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
think center line.
Yep.
Split to just a hair over. the
Touch
side.
center kind of thing?
Yeah, she can't make.
That's coming off hard, hey?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought this pass was pretty
Does bite center.
Yep.
Okay. I almost want the intern. Can
You
I?
a hair less than Jesse.
Can I throw this one? Do you know the line for that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
So Stephanie would rather throw the intern here.
And I think maybe what she's thinking that if you ever got a slight over curl, you're better off to over curl on this side than it would be if you have the out turn. You want to take the outside of that rock away. I think that's the side she has to hit it on to run back and get all three of them.
No, just, yeah.
Needs to
2.5.
We're almost to that yellow.
Okay,
What you don't want to do is line it up
Yeah.
for them.
We're ready to go to get to it.
Well, if you're going to be to it, you better be on the corner of it, not on the face.
Might have worked.
Good.
Which one do you like?
Boy, she might have left her just enough to be able to run it in.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Get to what I,
No,
that's
that's
what
good.
I can see.
I like the throw.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
Just had to.
I agree with Nancy. I think if she gets to what she can see,
Yeah.
she certainly moves all three of them. I don't know if she can kill all three.
Fuller's better, right? Yeah, hit most what you got.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah, I think so, Cher.
Yep, hard. Hard, Ellie.
Nancy Martin looking to throw the big weight here. Gave it quite the extension. We heard the sweep call early, and now it backs up, or did they just maybe jump the sweep more than they needed to? Drives it by, doesn't catch any of those red stones. And that might have been their best opportunity. They do still have the short run on the other side, but the angle, not as good on that stone.
Let's go this way.
And getting pretty late in the end now, too.
Well, especially when you want to score 2 or perhaps 3 here. You're on third's last stone.
Yeah.
You need to count all the ones you got left to get 3.
Yeah, I don't like those odds.
Touch less. Line halfway. Line's really good. Halfway.
Just for weight. Well,
Line's perfect. Halfway. Line's good. Put
They're deeper.
They're deeper.
Even.
Close to it.
Line's
Even.
good. You want it even?
Well, yeah,
it's not quite. It's not there. Well, yeah, it is.
Good. Good.
Atta girl.
Good.
Okay, good.
Sherry Anderson out to look at that angle now.
Lining up the other one.
I still think the angle's better with the red, no? To get that back one, or no?
But how do you score 3 like that?
Yes, but...
Yeah.
But then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then what? Yeah.
What do you want there, a quarter or half?
And she's got to start opening something
to
on
get
the
it past
wing
the button. Yeah.
Well, she's got to get a yellow one into the ring,
She's
too.
got a
That's
point.
the thing. You can't... You run the red in and...
Quarter to a half.
I don't know if you can see that hit the runner.
No.
You run the red in here to make it. That's great, but now you're playing for a maximum of 2, so you've got to steal 2 to have any chance in the extra end.
Whoa!
Okay.
Manages to nut the yellow on the first one, moves the other 2 around a little bit. She does still have an angle raise out there.
Does the red yellow make the double, or is it miss the back one?
I know.
You can make it with this. And it'll flip it.
This way we
If you
should
get
get
just,
back one
yeah,
maybe, but
Still just for one.
yeah. Still just for one.
Yeah. I think you plug up this
Plug
side.
in, yeah, even half around. Well, she can't do anything here. Well,
yeah, but you can see a little piece
I think
of
she's
that
looking
wrong.
at either one of the angle run-ins right now.
Do you want to be high or do you want to be tight in case we need to use it?
Yeah, I like what Kara's saying, is get it in there where Stephanie's broom is.
Yeah, perhaps.
If it's ever, and if it's ever,
I don't think the port matters. She's never playing the port. She's playing her run-in.
Harder to get there, though.
if it's ever coming in top 12, though, that's not terrible either.
No, but
So-
we would over curl, I think, Kara.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the
I
same
think
line.
here- if we can get here, that's real good.
Yeah.
If we can.
I think we'll over curl it though.
Yeah,
we
we
just got to be
might.
careful. I think high is probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll take his time.
Okay, so high and we'll just
like I say, try to go here.
Speed
okay,
should be really
to the top of the
If we
R.
can get there, that's great.
Okay. Okay.
If not, it's not.
I think you can get there with the top of the R. Wow. Yeah.
Listen in here.
You gotta make sure we're by that yellow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll cheat. See what Sherry's thinking ahead to.
The 4-foot line. That's okay. Yeah.
I like
you can get it like even or
yeah.
just past.
I like that ice too.
Okay. Yeah, it will finish.
Yeah, speed will be good here.
Like. You got it wrong.
Right at her.
H.
Robin Silvernagle looking to plug the hole here. Now, if she gets this tight enough, it could take away that run-in as well.
I like the thought of taking away the running because I'm sure she's going to be using that.
Yeah, I don't know that we necessarily saw that, but you could do both with this rock if you get it tight to the rings.
Exactly.
Just pass by Sarah.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think that
They might have. It might have
maybe it overcurled at the end. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
going to say it might be enough, and then it took a big move at the end. It
three-quarters,
probably
really.
left the one on the other side for sure.
Well, now they've got the center guarded as Sherry makes one go away right now, totally guarded. Not sure how she gets the other, but...
I think Sherry's probably at the point right now where she's just hoping to have a chance for at least 2, and we'll worry about whether or not we can get 3 after that.
None. Firm. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Looking for the run in here, and oh, just over curled. Is it going to get a piece? No.
That's going to make things hard.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
Yeah, hard not just to, for the sake of the deuce, but with a good throw here, and you can see where Robin Silvernagle is tapping the ice. I think her first one took away the angle run in on the left side as we look at it. If she can do the same thing with this one on the right side, I don't know, Susan. I don't even see how Sherry Anderson scores. Do you see anything?
No, exactly. No, and Sherry's trying to figure something out here, too.
Well, and I don't know how much good one even does her, but I don't see how she scores. I don't even see a good angle on a double raise that would get to the shots, get her shot stone.
Both the same.
Yeah,
Tight.
Yeah, early.
Hard.
Tight.
Where are we?
Tight.
Tight.
Top 12.
Top 12.
Hard.
Hard line.
Top 8.
Yep, that's fine. Okay.
Great job by the Brushers to get by the front one,
Bounce it off then. Yeah, little bounce. Bounce it.
but in so doing, they came down and tapped that stone, so the angle run-in's still there. She'd have to make the double.
I think
right on that rock.
Yeah.
Just right on the rocks. Robin actually made this
Same thing. I'll just
a little bit simpler for her.
Just a little firm.
Yeah, firmer.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd agree that it's simpler, but it's the same. She's still got to stick it on one rock. She doesn't have to worry about hitting it in the middle or anything. She had to stick it on one rock last time. She's the same thing. If she can stick it on that stone that was just thrown, it'll kill both of them. She does get to hit this one just a little bit thicker. In fact, if she hits the same piece as she hit the last time, it should be pretty close. Called them on right away again.
Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Now they've backed away. Hits the first one a little thick, hits the second one a little thin, and off the back of her own, but it's a steal of one for Robin Silvernagle. She takes a 5-point lead, and that's handshakes. The gloves come off. Robin Silvernagle picks up the win here over Sherry Anderson in the Page 1-2 game. That'll move Robin Silvernagle into the final tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. Sherry Anderson lives on to fight another day. She'll play at noon in the Page, or in the semifinal against the winner of the Page 3-4 game this afternoon. That was Kristen Streifel. Certainly the Silvernagle team on fire here. They were solid throughout this entire game. The Anderson team overnight going to have to settle things down and come out maybe a little stronger tomorrow. They were just a little off on a lot of the shots so far today.
I think so, and it's sort of, you know, even when Sherry didn't make that shot for 3 in the third end there, that was sort of, to me, that showed how that team was feeling out there. So I think it's great. They've got this game under their belt. They can talk about it upstairs here for a little bit, and I think they're going to come out way stronger tomorrow morning.
And Robin Silvernagle is with Kim Hudson down at ice level. And Kim?
Nice win, dare I say, a game that you kind of controlled.
Yeah, we did. I mean, having Hammer at the beginning was good, and getting our 2, and then got lucky to not give up 3, but we just battled and kind of stuck to our game plan and really executed well and had our rock placement well, so that helps.
Yeah, missing on the right side if you missed at all, you know.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
A question that I think you're not going to answer for me. Do you care who you play tomorrow?
No.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Okay, next question. This is going to be your third time in the provincial final tomorrow. You've got a different team, though. How much do you rely on the expertise of Jess and Steph?
Oh, a lot. The girls have been so great this week. We've had a few games that maybe shouldn't have gone our way, and I was struggling, and they just pulled me through. So, yeah, they are awesome to be playing with. So I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Good to hear. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
So the Page playoffs in the books today. It was Kristen Streifel winning the 3-4 game. Robin Silvernagle here winning the 1-2 game. You'll see Robin in the final tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock, and it'll be Sherry Anderson versus Kristen Streifel at 12 noon in the semifinal. We'll have that for you here live on SaskTel Max.